The stadium was shaking. More than 40,000 fans were on their feet, waving Scottish flags and chanting one name. Josh Kerr, the hometown hero, had already conquered the world, but this was different. This wasn't a Diamond League. It wasn't a world championship. This was Glasgow, his city, his crowd, his chance to create a moment that every Scottish athletics fan would remember forever. Across the track stood some of the fastest milers in the Commonwealth, all believing they had what it took to spoil the party. One mistake, one poorly timed move, or one wasted burst of energy could cost everything. For nearly 4 laps, nobody knew who would make the decisive move. Then, with just a few hundred meters remaining, Josh Kerr unleashed one of the most perfectly timed finishing kicks of his career. What happened next wasn't just a race victory. It became an unforgettable Commonwealth Games moment. Middle distance running has always been about much more than raw speed. Unlike the 100 meters, where the fastest reaction often wins, the mile is a chess match played at full sprint. Every step matters, every position matters, every decision can decide the race, and no athlete understands that better than Josh Kerr. By the time Glasgow 2026 arrived, Kerr wasn't simply another elite miler. He had already built a reputation as one of the smartest tactical runners in the world. His ability to stay calm under pressure, conserve energy, and strike at exactly the right moment had made him one of the most dangerous finishers in global athletics. But racing in front of your home crowd creates a completely different kind of pressure. Everyone expects you to win. Every camera follows you, every move is analyzed, every mistake becomes unforgettable. The crowd wasn't just cheering for an athlete. They were expecting their national hero to deliver another historic performance. That pressure has broken great athletes before, but Josh Kerr looked completely different. During the introductions, he wasn't celebrating early. He wasn't trying to entertain the cameras. Instead, he wore the expression of a runner who already knew exactly how this race would unfold. His focus never changed. His breathing stayed relaxed. His eyes remained locked on the track ahead. Because experienced milers know something casual fans often don't. The race isn't won in the first lap. Sometimes, it's not even won in the third. It's won by the athlete who makes the smartest decisions before everyone else realizes what's happening. As the runner stepped onto the start line, the atmosphere inside the stadium reached another level. The roar echoed around the arena. Scottish flags filled the stands. Every spectator understood they might be about to witness one of the greatest home victories in Commonwealth history. But standing beside Kerr were athletes who had absolutely no intention of becoming part of someone else's celebration. Each of them had prepared for months. Each believed they could upset the favorite. The field was loaded with talent, experience, and dangerous finishing speed. One wrong tactical decision would be punished immediately. Then came the silence. The runners settled into position. No movement, no distractions, only complete concentration. The starter raised the pistol, bang, the Commonwealth Mile was underway. Unlike sprint races, nobody exploded into an all-out attack. Instead, the opening meters looked surprisingly controlled. Every athlete was carefully judging the pace. Nobody wanted to become the runner who dragged the entire field to fast to early. Josh Kerr immediately showed why he's considered one of the sport's greatest tacticians. He didn't rush toward the front. He didn't fight aggressively for lane 1. And he certainly didn't waste energy trying to impress the crowd during the opening straight. Instead, he found exactly the position he wanted. Comfortable, protected, alert. From there, he could watch every move happening ahead while avoiding unnecessary work against the wind. It looked simple, but it was actually one of the smartest decisions of the race. Many inexperienced runners panic if they're not leading early. They fight for position, they burn energy, they make unnecessary moves. Kerr did the opposite. He trusted the race. As the field completed the opening lap, the pace remained honest but controlled. Nobody had committed to a major attack yet. The pack stayed tightly grouped, almost as if every runner was waiting for someone else to make the first mistake. And that's exactly where Josh Kerr wanted them. While others constantly glanced around, checking shoulders and reacting to movement, Kerr looked remarkably relaxed. His stride stayed smooth. His shoulders remained loose. His breathing looked effortless. Nothing about his body language suggested he was under pressure. In fact, it almost looked as if he was out on a controlled training session rather than competing for Commonwealth gold. But appearances can be deceptive. Inside his mind, every movement around him was being calculated. Every surge, every slowdown, every athlete drifting slightly wide, every tiny gap beginning to open. This is what separates great milers from legendary ones. His knees stayed high, his arms drove perfectly in rhythm, his stride remained efficient despite nearly 4 laps of racing. This wasn't just speed, this was one of the finest examples of championship racing. As he entered the final 100 meters, the result was becoming obvious. The crowd sensed it, the commentators sensed it. Even the runners behind knew catching him was almost impossible. Josh Kerr crossed the finish line first, stopping the clock at 3 minutes 54 seconds and 12 milliseconds and securing the Commonwealth Mile title in front of a roaring home crowd. For a brief moment, the stadium seemed to stand still. Then came an explosion of celebration. Fans jumped to their feet. Flags filled the stands. The roar echoed around the stadium. Scotland celebrated one of its greatest athletics moments. For Kerr, this victory meant far more than another gold medal. He had delivered under enormous pressure. He had raced with intelligence instead of emotion. And in front of family, friends, and thousands of home supporters, he had produced a performance that perfectly reflected everything that makes him one of the world's greatest milers. The beauty of this race wasn't that Josh Kerr led from the gun. It wasn't that he dominated every lap. It was the patience, the discipline, the confidence to trust his own race plan when everyone around him was beginning to panic. Championship races are rarely won by the strongest athlete alone. They're won by the smartest competitor. And in Glasgow, Josh Kerr proved exactly why his race IQ is considered among the very best in the sport. His positioning was flawless, his energy management was exceptional, and his final kick was timed to absolute perfection. Long after the finishing time is forgotten, fans will remember the image of Josh Kerr charging down the home straight with the entire stadium behind him. A Scottish athlete, a home crowd, a perfectly executed race, and a Commonwealth Mile victory that will be remembered for years to come. Because true champions don't just run fast, they know exactly when to be unstoppable. By this achievement, Josh Kerr proved that true champions don't just rely on speed, they win with patience, intelligence, and perfect timing. If you enjoyed this race breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss the biggest moments in track and field. From world records to championship battles and unforgettable finishes, we've got every major race covered right here. Tell us in the comments, what was your favorite moment from Josh Kerr's incredible Commonwealth Mile victory? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next race.